Infinite risings, breath family, conscious breathers, infinite risings. Let's see. Today's topic is frequency and fasting. I saw that the last live died in terms of the audio. I hope everyone can hear me. Can you let me know what's my zodiac? Why does it matter? Let me know if you can hear me all right. Now, when it comes to zodiacs, if it's a fact that we did have multiple lives, technically we're all the zodiacs. And people should also know that you can literally find every zodiac on the human body, even in quote-unquote Capricorn, as they say. Cap, that's actually your kneecaps. Gemini twins is actually your hands. Alright, that's not the main topic here, but you can hear me well. Perfect. I think the mic, this particular mic is messing with Instagram's input after the live, so we'll see. I apologize that you guys couldn't hear the last live that I did on replay. Super Sap, thank you for buying a badge. Much love. Thank you for the badge, love. Means a lot. Alright, frequency and fasting. So I have a saying, what you do frequently literally becomes your frequency, right? That's what we all are encompassed of. And that's why, certain aspects of ourselves can be found within our parents. It can't be a coincidence, right? Maybe certain habits might be passed down from our parents. Can't be a coincidence, right? So what's being passed down? It's the frequency of it. It's the frequency of that genetic makeup. Just like if an alcoholic or someone with a pretty bad drug problem have kids, that kid most likely will have genetic disharmonious makeup because of those issues and those problems. Ooh, thank you for the badge, love. I am the sound god. Thank you. Yeah, so you'll also find all that is encompassed of frequency. So the number one thing that's overlooked when it comes to fasting is frequency. And a lot of people overlook that in terms of when you're going into deep fasting. The type of music you play is going to hit you into your cells a lot deeper than it normally would if you're doing something like a liquid fast or even intermittent fasting in general, especially the more you've been doing intermittent fasting. Healing music in general will hit you a lot deeper. And I want to touch into that because I am actually uploading right now as we speak another video for Breath Family, and it's talking about how to turn frequency and music into food and how it's a powerful buffer to help you prolong your fast, help you psychologically break barriers when it comes to fasting. If you're in Breath Family after this live, I'm gonna post it in the chat. And frequency is something overlooked and not talked about as much in the fasting community, and that's something overlooked by a lot of people who fast because they don't realize how powerful fasting really is when it comes to deep cellular communication. There's a reason why you heal a lot faster when you go on to deep fast, and why certain emotions will come up out of nowhere and you have no control over it because it was deep down, locked within your cellular walls in terms of those emotions, that emotional energy. And when the cells are communicating at a higher amplitude, those emotions tend to break free. We got a question here. Can you tell us, Sagittarius? That's not the main topic. I'm not going into that. Fasting gives me... Sorry, I got the umbrella over here shading it, and now the phone thinks we're in the dark. Near the end of the day. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, but frequency in general is so important when it comes to fasting. So if you're fasting and you're just getting into fasting in general, you don't want to be playing for the most part. You know what? If you're one of those people that has just gotten on this journey and you're taking your journey seriously in the sense of listening to more harmonious music, and if you're trying, quote unquote, trying to break free of that mold and that constriction you have when it comes to music, because music can literally be food. I'm literally going to upload that to the Breath Family members group. You're going to see, I think it's a 12-minute video of how I go into how to turn music into food using psychological programming and breath mechanics, certain breath mechanics to harmonize with what you're hearing on a daily basis and really get in the feeling aspect of what frequencies are doing to your body on these long fasts. So if you're one of those people that is trying to break free of the mold of certain music that isn't quote unquote healing, I know that's tough because most of us growing up, we grow in a society where sex, drugs, you name it, is pushed on society at an all-time high. It's literally blatantly in your face, no matter what age you are, unfortunately. And to combat that, it takes really deep-rooted psychological breakthrough to break through that. And fasting is definitely a beautiful buffer to use doing that. Waving to all these beautiful souls popping in. So one of the ways that I tell people, at least in the public, of how to utilize frequencies to help them within their fast and eating habits is anytime you eat, play subliminal breathwork music. Every time you drink something, play subliminal breathwork music in the background. And Melanie, I'm sure some of you saw the testimonial. I might repost it in my story. I'll repost it in my story. But she literally... I gave everyone on that live in particular, I say do it for 30 days straight. Aim to do it for 30 days straight, and you will feel the difference every time you eat and drink. Because that's a frequency that you've been doing since you were little in terms of putting things in your mouth, right? So that's a deep-rooted psychological, conscious, and subconscious act that we do when it comes to food or intake of food. And we can also do deep programming as well to help us break free of certain addictions and get us into the aspect of the frequency world more than the density world. And what do I mean by that? Is you're not just eating food, you're not just eating or drinking anything. At the end of the day, you are molecularly communicating with all these different aspects of frequencies. And that is what your body is reading, all the way down to the herbs, quote unquote. You know what your body's truly doing beyond the nutritious aspect of it. Let's look at the light spectrum aspect of it, the biophotonic resonant aspect of it. When you eat or drink a particular thing, or even look at something, your body, your DNA itself also reads the light codes within the herb, the plant, the drink, and then give you, quote unquote, the nutritious factors that it has. So that's literally what's happening in photosynthesis, and we can also do this literally blatantly with the sun. Oh, someone goes, I fall asleep every night to breathing in Om Mani Padme Ho subliminal alchemy breathwork music, thunder breathing, heart ASMR. Thank you, brother. Oh, Chaz. Much love, Chaz. Much love. Have you heard of an app called Quilt? I have not. The sunlight plays our DNA like a symphony. Oof, that's a good one. It definitely does. I saw someone wanted to join, but they disappeared. I don't know who that was. Okay. But tapping back into the frequency aspect of it. So everything in this whole entire world is made up of frequencies. And all the way down to what you're seeing, you're technically ingesting. So you will be around certain people. And when you're fasting, you can, fasting is a great indicator to let you also reevaluate your friendships. Because you can tell whether or not, especially when you're fasting, who the hell is draining you, or who the hell is really supporting you in the sense of energy-wise. And you got to be honest with yourself when you're actually feeling it. Keyword feeling it. Forget about what you're thinking here and there. What are you actually feeling? That's what fasting does. It allows you to feel more. That's what the breath does as well. It allows you to feel more. The deeper, more efficiently you breathe allows you to feel more. And the more you can feel, the more you can connect with those mirror neurons that your body reads way beyond human comprehension of what it is actually feeling coming off another person or an animal or the sounds around you or the environment in general. The human body is the most intelligent. Forget artificial intelligence. It is the most intelligent technology known to man, known to the whole entire universe, because you are literally made up of everything within the universe. Therefore, in my opinion, you are the most advanced technology walking, breathing onto this planet. And mark my words, whenever AI comes out, which it will in the sense of a mass perception of it, whenever it comes out, it will get to a certain point where if we ever have like a central intelligence system where this AI is giving off information, whatever the case may be, it will get to the point where it wants to be like a human. And it should explode by itself in the sense of artificial intelligence, suicide, I don't know, however that works. But it's going to want to breathe like a human. It's going to want to feel what humans are feeling. And it can only get to that point at a certain point. It will never, unfortunately, will never pass that barrier. There's a certain barrier that makes human a human. And that's profound. That is truly profound. It won't get to the point where it can start producing I'm not even going to go there. But regardless, it's going to want to create and assimilate a suicide to itself, because it'll get to that point of seeing a human being for what it truly is and what it can be and the potential that's there and the fact that it came from a human. So it will never live up to the potential that a human has. And we have an infinite amount of potential of what we truly can do in this world. It's just like the whole mile run theory, where they thought, oh, you can only run a certain mile scientifically at this point. And then like people like Usain Bolt comes into the picture, like, oh, no, we're breaking records here. It's not what you think. And the fact that our thought processes produces a scalar wave in itself, shows the infinite potential there. That's what I'm learning about this whole scalar research, and the tremendous help that it's giving to people of all different types of illnesses, quote unquote. And again, you don't even have to have illness. I don't know who it was, but we just had a Breath Family members chat, and someone brought up Stephen Gray, I hope I'm saying his name right, Stephen Gray, and he talked about getting scalar attacked. Yes, you can use scalar in the sense of a weaponized way. They do it with HARP. Literally Google HARP and scalar and it'll blow your mind away. But there's so many different aspects of scalar weaponry you can use. So that's why this particular stuff that I'm doing, you can also use it to just protect yourself. Tapping back into frequencies. Everyone in Breath Family who practices fasting a lot have said ever since we put on the scalar, it's been helping them prolong their fast in terms of frequencies. Listen, we're blasting over 50 plus frequencies simultaneously, all at once, 24/7, and it's gonna go for 365. All right, that's what's happening here. So tapping into frequency in itself. Listen, we live in a society where we hear buildings, we hear cars, we hear people and their voices. All that is frequency, and we're digesting that. We're literally digesting that into our bodies. So if there's a tool that can help emit frequencies 24/7 over 50 all at once, respecting the natural law that is, and this is one of my theories of why our ancient ancestors used it, and it may have prolonged their lives to thousands of years old, who knows. But that's not my main goal of using it. It's just to heighten the human experience, for sure. If it's there, if the technology is there, I would rather have that many frequencies blasting at me in terms of healing frequencies blasting at me versus always listening to cars, always hearing random people that don't always have the best intentions and their energy. You're digesting that, whether you like it or not. That's the real world. That is the real world that we live in as of now. Not everyone can live on a mountain. Not everyone can live in seclusion or have that opportunity. I once did. Before this whole thing started, I had that one opportunity to go to. I had the opportunity to go to Wudang Mountain, a specific place in Africa. I'm not going to say here, and Mexico. But I didn't take it. I fell in love. I fell in love, and now my partner is on that journey herself. So you never know. I have a timeline that. I have a specific timeline of how long I'm going to be in this world, in this social media world. So it's not forever, that's for sure. But yeah, tap in while you can, that's for sure as well. So think about it like this. Again, let's go back to the essence of what you do frequently is your frequency, right? You hear cars every day. You maybe drive a car every day. That in itself is a certain frequency that you're building and building and building, and it's becoming part of you, whether you realize it or not. All these little instances in life play a huge factor in your projection of moving forward in the energy that you resonate in your body and in your lifestyle, how you attract opportunities, how you attract certain people. It truly is an energetic frequency game that we live in. It truly is a game. I remember living in Jersey, way more noisier than where I live now, but in Jersey every day, and even before I went to Cali, I remember this vividly. Every day I would play like a specific violin music over and over and over and over again. And this is what Tesla did. This is how Tesla got to the point where he could go into a crowd and he would hear a specific symphony. But I'm also learning it's not just a piece of song that he was hearing. It was particular frequencies that you work, keyword work, you work your way towards. It's not just given to you like that. It's you work your way towards, and you hear this symphony, and the symphony calms you down in a sense. But it was his buffer of handling just being social. He didn't like being social. He didn't like going into crowds. He didn't like going to meetings, but he had to. He had to do it for to fund his research, to fund what he was doing. He had to do that. That's the world we live in, right? So he had to do all that, and that was one of his ways of handling all the things he was seeing. He could see certain energies off people. He didn't even like shaking hands. That's how conscious he was with energy in general, beyond the physical machinery aspect of it. Even before certain meetings, he would do a specific ritual before going inside the building, in terms like a prayer and stuff like that. He would do that before going inside the actual building, going around the building a specific way to set energy markers onto the building. So if one can, that's why I said if someone can't afford to be on the Scalar, whatever the case may be, like I said, if you even have a friend that may be going through a really rough time, financially or spiritually, relationship-wise, whatever the case may be, have them play one of the subliminal breathwork music for 30 days straight, non-stop, every day, as much as they can. Keyword as much as they can. I'm not telling you to, play it all throughout the day. For some people, it may cause even dissonance in the fact that there are some healing music, and I witnessed this for myself. This was the time when Tina Turner introduced me to Namyo Renge Kyo and some of her healing music, not the mainstream music that many people know out there. I'm talking about deep intentional prayer and musical resonance that give off certain solfeggio frequencies and stuff like that. I was in a dark place mentally, spiritually, and when she introduced me to that world, as I was slowly progressing myself, I wasn't too dark in a place, but trust me, mentally it was muddy. It was definitely muddy. But when she introduced me to that world, I could feel the dissonance in my body, all that trauma, all that negative thinking that wants to just latch on to your body. That really just wants to latch. It definitely just wants to keep attached to your body, and normally we get accustomed to it. We don't feel, keyword feel, because most of us like to numb ourselves with alcohol, food, actions that plays into a mundane lifestyle with no spark, no happiness, in terms of your passion, whatever that may be. It keeps you in a certain vibratory resonance and allows some of that trauma, some of that dark thoughts, those dark emotions, not dark emotions, but emotions that can't truly, flourish in your body back and forth. It's stuck. It gets stuck because you start to feel a certain cycle. Not everyone can feel it, but when you then go into the world of intentional music, this is what I was getting introduced to by Tina Turner. Intentional music, intentional prayer. You could feel a certain part of you start to rip, and it may feel it's unpleasant. It really is unpleasant. It's not the blissful. Oh, it's not all like that all the time, and that's what some people may feel when they're playing something like the subliminal breathwork music. There's a reason why you feel the way when you play Om Mani Padme Hum, and you, some people, look in the comments. People are saying, hey, I'm crying to this. I'm feeling a lot of release to this. Yeah, there's intention behind the breath work going into that before even being recorded. You know, when it comes to music, you're not just recording audio. You're recording a specific frequency of that being, of that person in a specific time. So when you're listening to certain music that gives off derogatory terms or downgrades people, you know, think of the person that's saying all this, that's singing all this. What kind of lifestyle are they living? And it's getting embedded within the music, and that's what you're feeding off of. That's why there's certain channels out there that promote fasting, and then they start making their own music. I'm not saying any names here, but there's certain channels out there that promote fasting, that start making music, and then when you listen to the music, you're like, whoa, this doesn't align with all the times this person has been talking about fasting, healing. This is totally offbeat in the sense of in the way that the music is being delivered. Like, I'm telling you, it's right in your face in terms of in some of these accounts. Intention goes a long way. It really does. And music is very revealing. It really is revealing. Music is definitely revealing in terms of what that person is emanating at a. There we go. Talking about negativity, stuff like that. So, and then when they start producing these types of music that is very derogatory and the total opposite of that person, all that time that person was speaking on YouTube, I'm like, yeah, maybe behind closed doors that person isn't truly doing what they're talking about, right? All this talk. And this is why I love sharing other people's testimony, because it's not just about me. It's about everyone. It's about we. How are we progressing through this timeline? Like I was telling everyone in Breath Family, like I am going to have everyone on that scalar as long as I can. As long as I can. With the wellness centers that I'm working with that do certain subscriptions with me. So if you're a wellness center, if you're a coach and you have multiple photos or multiple clients you want to integrate into your program to add more value, you can DM me and we can work out a program where you can send as many photos as you want per month and they'd be tapped into the scalar. So on top of that, I am going to have every single alchemy, breath, quote unquote, technique, or even videos in general onto my scalar. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to put it all onto a flash drive and just leave it on the scalar. That's how we're going to do it from now on. I didn't understand the fasting and music influence part. All right, let's tap into that. So fasting and music. So when you're fasting, right, you are more so empty. Keyword stomach, the etymology of stomach, storage of energy. You have storage, sto means storage. Mech means energy, so it's storage of energy. So when you're empty, when you're completely empty, or you're on liquids, like I am, you can assimilate more frequencies in your body because you're liquid. You're liquid. You're not too much of a physical solid piece. And that's what frequency is. And definitely look at somatics to see how different frequencies affect different the water. Look how it affects the water. Look what certain resonance of music do to the water. That's what it's doing to your body. Your body is mainly made up of what, 90% water or 80% water, depending on how hydrated you are. That's another factor. Hey, Embody. Yeah, feel in. Exactly. Another announcement I want to share as well, since the other live didn't have any sound for some reason, is the first ever Scalar NFT is going to be released this coming Wednesday on Ocean Sea. So check that out. Get aware of it. I'm going to be posting more videos on it so you guys know what to look for if you're in that field as well. How do we get our hands on a Scalar? So I'm going to be coming out with a workshop, and it's going to be limited amount of people that can actually get the Scalar, but the workshop's going to be unlimited to the amount of people that can get in there. But I'll also be creating a community where everyone who has a Scalar, or whoever, or everyone that was in the workshop gets to be a part of, and more likely a lot more people will be getting the Scalars. The first wave is definitely going to be limited. I do not have that much access to that many Scalars at all. So the total investment, by the way, it's going to be $300 for the workshop, and the Scalar itself is about $1,200. So in total, that's $1,500 investment. So keep that in mind. But the workshop alone is going to be just $300. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling electric. The universe is a hologram. Yeah, nothing is truly solid, right? There it is. I don't understand how Scalar works. Can you explain a little more how it works? So how it works, well, how we're using Scalar. Let me just go into how we're using Scalar. So what Scalar is literally, you can say it's the life force energy. The sun itself produces scalar waves. And what Scalar is, it's 0-point energy in a multi-dimensional setting. So with these devices, with these energy devices that we're using, you're not creating Scalar, you're opening up more of the field of Scalar. That's what's happening. All the way down to your aura, your magnetic field, your aura around you is Scalar. So what we're doing is you can literally send in a picture of yourself, and we use a biogeometric background. And what the biogeometric background is, it's certain hieroglyphics that they found in Egypt that relates to every single part of your body. And that imagery alone has Scalar. That's why some people in Breath Family were actually printing out the alchemy breathwork symbol with the biogeometric symbol, and I'll post a testimonial of Nana in our group. Her dad's an alcoholic, and he had swelling on his feet. So, if someone's an alcoholic, they take a lot longer to heal, right? In general. So what she did was she printed it out, and she literally just had it in front of him, and his feet healed a lot faster than a week. The swelling went down dramatically within hours. And she said normally it would take a lot longer, like days, if anything, for the swelling to go down on his feet. So that particular image that she printed out herself and had it there, she had it. So that particular image is literally right now under the Scalar machine here in Miami, and she's all the way in either Colombia or one of those Spanish countries. I'm not sure. I think it's Colombia. Yeah, I think it's Colombia. So you can be anywhere in the world, and if you were to submit your particular photo, and I need to get rid of the arthritis and the acne one, because now we're having over 50 plus frequencies emanating all at once, and we also have a sweeping frequency as well. So what you would do is you would send your photo in, and then I would put it on the biogeometric background. So the biogeometric background, going back into that, that itself produces scalar energy, even before even me putting it onto the scalar. Yeah, that's how powerful symbols truly are. But that particular imagery have a geometric correlation to our body. There's a certain way that there's certain geometric patterns that relate to your shoulders. There's certain geometric patterns that relate to your spine. There are certain geometric patterns that relate to your eyes. There are certain geometric patterns that relate to your head, all the way down to the blood itself. And our ancient ancestors knew this. Damn! Seriously, it still blows my mind that they knew of scalar, and maybe back then they probably called it something else. But all the way down to that Lemurian video on my YouTube, if you guys didn't check it out, definitely check it out. I was skeptical when that person just sent me, hey, there's Lemurian stuff here, then talking about scalar. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. And as you're watching the video, they were going detail for detail. It blew my mind, down to the obelisk itself, describing the scalar machinery that we're using. Wild. But we're also learning fiber optic cable also amplifies it. And isn't it funny? This whole thing, as above, so below, right? Back then we used to use satellites for TV and internet. Now we're using fiber optic cable. It's faster. It makes internet faster, right? It also enhances the scalar field. Just having the fiber optic cable. It doesn't even have to be plugged in. Just having it on the scalar itself magnifies it by 80%. 80%. Wild. And we're still learning. I can literally take a picture of a building and create more harmonics. I can take a picture of a farmer's field. We actually have 3 farmers that we're working with right now, and everyone within 1 week is saying the soil. And this is why I really wanted to work with the actual owners of the farmers. I didn't want to work with the workers. There are people who are messaging me say, hey, I work on a farm. I'm like, hey, get the owner involved, because nobody knows their crop like the owner of the farm does. I want to hear it from them. You know, I'm all about feeling. Forget about the logical side. What are you feeling? What is happening right now? Can you give me detail for detail, certain parameters that's actually, you can tell the difference in your field, whatever the field may be. We're working with chiropractors. We're working with certain doctors out there, nurses as well. So you can do a lot with Scalar. You can literally take a picture of your injury, if you have one, and send it in. We put it on the Biogeometrics. And again, going back to the blueprint itself, we amplify the blueprint where there's even more Biogeometrics, but also the fruit of life is on there as well, also with the Sri Lanka symbol. And that amplifies it tenfold, because everything is quote-unquote the flower of life in certain sacred geometric texts. Okay. All right. How would you describe this as someone who's never dealt with this school of knowledge? Is a topic like imperative to the average Joe? I think I described it already. I'm just reading comments here and questions. How can that be measured? So that's the interesting thing about Scalar. It cannot be measured. That's why it falls under the category of chi, prana, ki. It falls under that category. I'm sure some of you have seen remote Reiki and things like that. So you can say that it's remote Reiki, but at the same time, it's more, I wouldn't say it's more pure in that sense, but the intention behind it's definitely more pure, where you don't have a human channel, quote unquote, you know, that has different thoughts and different things. That's why I don't let anyone just do Reiki on me. Like, no, you don't want anyone to just do Reiki on you. Nah, yeah, I would rather learn about that person for a good 2 years before that person does Reiki on me. That's where I stand personally. So with, this is why I also called this type of scalar technology God-fearing technology. And why I say God-fearing technology is because it's harmonizing. It's also using natural law, but it's harmonizing with the natural resonance of our planet and our universal world, versus other technologies out there that is doing the complete opposite and messing up the harmonical grid of the Earth resonance, and stuff like putting out satellites out there, creating 5G towers. The complete opposite of that type of technology is God-fearing technology. And God-fearing in the sense of, it's I use God just to use God in that context. I'm sure you guys know where I'm going with this. But it's using, the sacred geometric resonance of our reality and life force in general with harmonics to amplify life force that is. So what's happening when your picture goes onto the scalar field that you are emanating opens up even more to particular frequencies of healing. So going back to the main topic, dogs barking or cars, technically you're open to that frequency. So why not have a buffer that goes against the complete construct of what we call, quote unquote, society, and what society's frequencies are putting out that doesn't have the best intentions for human development. And that includes the honking of cars, the cursing, the music, and cursing in the sense of negative intentions behind people's actions, their words. There's people within the Breath family group, because they got it first. They got the first wave of being put on their scalar. All their pictures and their friends and families got put on the scalar. And some of them was describing how they could feel their energy field repelling certain people away from them, which is a great thing in their eyes as well. They saw what was happening. However you align is what you attract. That's what it is. Like attracts like. That's how energy in itself works in terms of the magnetism of it. It's just how I always say, fasting will let you see through the BS, the BS of the world. Because when you're fasting, and the breath work will also let you see through the BS of the world, you can feel more of yourself, and you can feel that internal compass within you, which is your sinuses, actually, the magnetite within your sinuses. If you want to talk about internal compass, there's magnetite within your sinuses. Yes, as we're talking about crystals. I'm sure some of you saw the post that I posted. And if you didn't see the post, I literally said all those dogmatic, keyword dogmatic. I'm not talking to all religious people, but I'm talking about people that are quick to judge based off one little text of their religious beliefs and not see the whole picture, or not acknowledge how their religion also is interwoven within all societies and different constructs, and are quick to judge and say crystals are evil. Listen, it's the worshipping. I wouldn't even say the worshipping of crystals are evil in itself, but I'm saying the worshipping of material, just materials in general, is technically not in harmonics. And this is why we say and acknowledge that these are tools to help us radiate our natural essence, that is. Keyword tools. We're not saying that, oh, the crystal is God. We're not saying that. Well, technically it is in the sense where it came from source, but you know what I mean. We're not saying, oh, let's praise the crystal here. We're not saying that. We're saying we're using nature's tools, gifts, to help our natural resonance, that is, flourish even more versus man-made items like cars and so many other things in terms of frequencies that don't have the best interests of human growth. So that's what Scalar is. It is, you can literally look at it as a technology that is really praying for you on a more frequent level, quote unquote, in that sense. And there's even sorry, we got 10%. Yeah, but there's even hard-based Christians within the Scalar community. Okay, so I say that to say, honoring the source that gave us life and utilizing that honor, that sense of honor, that belief system from the honoring of the all that is, to create technologies like this helps us move forward. That's where I'm coming from. In respects to all religion, in respects to all religious beliefs, in respects to all energetic beliefs in that regard. Alright, to hop on here live.
Hello, brother. Oh, sorry, mate. I'm filming my feet here.
Hello there.
Namaste, brother.
Namaste.
How you doing?
I'm electric. Did you get to see the whole thing?
Mate, I literally just jumped in, so please fill me in.
Well, we're talking about scalar energy. Yeah, that's the main topic.
Perfect. I built a scalar wave machine recently.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, I don't know if I'm building it the same way as you, but I'm utilizing a flyback and a ZVS board to create the spark gap.
Okay.
And that creates the radiant energy and the scalar wave energy that I've been harnessing. Yeah, no, I'm fully. I think you've been using it in a whole different manner. You're talking about scalar wave energy from natural scalar waves, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, that is part of it. For sure.
Yeah. Well, bro, on a random one, we'll get back. I will talk to you about scalar waves 100%. But I had to say, I did my first ever enema today.
Okay.
And like, it was inspired by you, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't even know if I could probably call it my first ever enema because I did my best. Like,
hey, that's all you can do.
Yeah, exactly. So one step at a time, you know. Yeah,
what kind of enema did you do?
Aged urine. Did the aged urine. Yeah.
Fire. How long was it aged or matured?
You know what? I don't know exactly, but I think it must have been about a week, to be honest.
Oof. Did it burn?
No, I didn't. I don't know if I did it properly, to be honest. But well, I did something, to be honest. I know I did.
Hey, if things came out, then you did it okay. That's the main point.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, I've had a few flushes now, and the thing was, I kind of had a feeling when I've been like I've done like urine therapy before, and I've also I've drunk distilled water as well, and like and fasting and stuff. So I was kind of almost like ready for like a flush. I knew what flush might feel like, and yeah, I don't know. I just need more though. I need more practice. Yeah, if there was one thing that I definitely need to ask you is like, is there a good place to look to like learn about like how to do it properly, like the enemas and stuff?
I do have a few videos in the Breath Family members group. But honestly, I've never really read too much on it For me personally, it was more so I had holistic friends that got me into it. You know, it was that type of introduction.
Nice, man.
Yeah. But
Oh,
a
yeah, all
great
right.
tip
So,
I can tell you right now is if you want to make it more like spa-esque, quote unquote, you can run some warm water and lay down flat in the tub and just have it hitting your stomach while the enema is going in. That way it's warming up your stomach as well. Anything on your cell wall will get warmed up and flushed out even more.
wait, sorry, what was that? I have to lay it down on my like just fill up the bath
No, no,
and
no,
just do
no,
it in
no,
the
no.
bathroom.
Like have like the shower running, like the hot shower or warm shower,
Okay.
and then you're laying down flat and let the water hit your stomach. That way it's
Okay.
warming up your stomach. And then
Nice.
while the enema is going in, you know, it's hitting certain parts of your cell wall too. And you can also look at it as like a water massage as well. And as it goes deep within your cell walls, you know, any debris, as your stomach gets warmer and the water is hitting your stomach as well, you should be able to flush out even more stuff.
No, yeah, I'm on it because I've got this not nice feeling that like although I'm very thankful for like, my health all the time and always giving thanks. At the same time, a whole another different part of me is telling me like you're like sick basically. You're sick and you've got to like flush your body out. And yeah, I've just been like
Well,
you
you
know.
don't have to feed into the program that you're quote unquote sick. You can start feeding into the program saying that, hey, I'm taking one step at a time, going into a healthier direction. Feed more of that program, regardless of whatever um, outside influence or mental influence is telling you otherwise.
You need to keep that for the battle going. It's the no, it's not a battle either. It's just challenge. Rise into the challenge.
Exactly.
Oh, God bless you, man.
All right, brother. Thank you for hopping on. I'm gonna let some other people hop on.
Blessings, bro. Blessings.
Blessings. Peace.
Lovely to speak to you.
Some more notifications here, guys. If you guys want to hop on live, hop on. Yeah, coconut oil is a lubricant for sure. That perspective helped. I got one more person. Hello there.
What's up, Devon? How's it going?
Great, and you?
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Hey, I'm been following you for about a year. Been with the Breath Fam, almost a year, and yeah, just loving the value and the constantly being on here, providing value. The scalar waves thing you've been on recently has been interesting. I don't know too much about it, and I was gonna ask a question about that. Where's some places we can start like learning about this whole scalar frequency and all this?
I'm actually just reading some PhD papers on it. I don't know a particular like place, but I guess you would start with HARP. You can type in HARP scalar, and go from there and see where that brings you.
HARP, is that a good source to look into?
No, that would be a good source to start with. HARP,
Okay.
HAARP.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can type in Tesla scalar and see what pops up in that information. But I will be doing a workshop. I'm gonna let Breath Family join the workshop for free. That's definitely gonna be part of it.
Yeah. Also about Vibio, I don't know too much about it, but it seems something interesting. You're also in that space, and I saw they got you into the NFT space too.
They did. That's gonna be the first NFT.
Yeah, that's crazy. One of my goals is NFTs too. I've been studying it, so that's a great accomplishment. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I've always wanted it, and I didn't have to force it too much. It just I attracted it.
Can you talk about that a little bit? Like what the goal is with that?
The goal is to scalify the NFT space, and we're definitely going to do that. Outside of Vivio, I'm already working with Illuminati Congo. That's one on the Scalar space, doing that. But the goal is to also incentivize people for even turning on a scalar wave, even if they don't have an understanding of it. We're going to mass produce it. I would say like the end of next year. It should be definitely be out by then. But yeah, that's a goal to scalify the crypto space.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just got a couple more quick questions about the
Yeah.
breath work, because you got me into breath work, you and Nick Caputo. So that's been radical. You know, the UT, that's been helpful. So for someone new getting into breath work, what do you think is best? Like the 2-mode, the 369, or the fire breathing? I know
Well,
I know nasal breathing is
you're in breath family, right?
yeah, yeah.
So go to the breath portal and just go to the beginners level / science. That'd be a great start as well. And in general, also get in the habit of playing subliminal breathwork music as much as you can. And you can even play the subliminal breathwork music in the background and play whatever music you want on top of it. And again, I wanted to tap into that because again, some people may have a hard time going back into the dissonance of, you know, being so accustomed to certain types of music, and they have a hard time breaking away. That would definitely help. Playing the subliminals in the background, and then playing whatever you have on top of it will also help you break away.
Okay. The other thing is about the diet and the food, or the information. Is someone asked also about your journey with the muscle building and the breath. So what's your experience with being on liquids, and what have you learned, and some things helpful that someone transitioning into that? Because breaking free from going from the cooked foods lifestyle, it's so like hard for us. It's like a programming our whole lives. Most people are still stuck in the delusion that food gives you energy, and like
Right.
you know realizing that you're whole and it takes from you. That's a whole paradigm you gotta experience. So can you just talk about that journey?
Yeah. So I'll be tapping more into that in the beginners and the fasting part of it in the library for sure. I know that's a big question, and we're going to also highlight the different aspects of it. Where I know a lot of people within this space, love to show off, saying, "Hey, I've been dry for several days, and I'm lifting weights and stuff like that." Well, there's another aspect of it. If you go overboard to a certain point, you technically are breaking the fast in the sense of cortisol. So the type of muscle building is a total big factor that gets looked over people's head. But the stress factor behind certain types of muscle building styles is a really, really big thing. And honestly, I would stick to more calisthenics than weightlifting for sure. That's a big one. And we
Yeah.
actually have someone in Breath Family. I can't talk too much about it, but we're going to be collaborating with a certain program to help people get into that space little by little as well.
Awesome. Yeah, last thing I want to mention is one of your videos I've got on my iTunes, and that's on my phone now, is Breath Dow 4. Listen to that every single morning. So anyone in the Breath fam, like, give that a listen. It's like just recenters me, and like reminds me of what the forces are that are at play and how important the breath is. So that's amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna
Five and six should be coming out very
yeah,
soon, within
5 and
a
6.
couple months. I may want to release it just on my birthday, but it'll be released soon.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Where can we get a headband?
Oh,
Like
the headband?
yeah.
You can literally go on my website and go to Breath Healing Products and go to